A storm system is moving across parts of the U.S. and could impact us here in the state of Arkansas. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Jurnee Taylor.
And I'm meteorologist Simone Thomas here as part of the THV 11 weather team. We've been having a pretty busy weekend. Yes. You know, I know definitely last night, Tom, Brandon, Nathan, Scott had a bit of a long night with some of those tornado warnings. And the threat today actually a little bit higher than what we saw yesterday. So we've got all hands on deck tracking the potential for severe weather. Right now, you see the rain coverage predominantly across northwest Arkansas following the first round of storms impacting us late morning into early afternoon. We have another round coming through this evening into overnight. That's really what we're paying attention to for the threat of severe weather. But I want you to pay attention off to the west and south central Oklahoma or southeastern Oklahoma. That storm producing a severe thunderstorm and even a tornado warning at the moment. That's going to be moving into the state of Arkansas here soon. So we're keeping our eyes to the sky, eyes to radar to bring you the latest updates through the afternoon. And if we need to break into programming, we will. Here's how the rest of the afternoon looks like. This first round that we're dealing with likely impacting central Arkansas between now and about 3 o'clock. We'll see a brief break from around 3 to maybe 6 before that next round that we're tracking through the evening starts to impact us. And right now we are under a severe thunderstorm watch until 5 o'clock. But I'll tell you about how the rest of the evening is going to look, timeline and type of impacts in the rest of the show. So make sure you stick around.
All right, Simone, thank you. Well, the damage may be minimum for us right now, but it's a different story in other parts of the country. Roxanne Saberi shares the widespread damages left behind by a powerful storm system.
What a monster. What the? Wow.
Massive tornadoes like this one barreled across Iowa, leaving Greenfield, a city of around 2,000 residents, devastated.
Before I went down the basement, I went all around my house and I prayed for God to keep us safe.
Drone video over the city southwest of Des Moines captured what remained. Homes shredded to pieces, vehicles tossed onto lawns, mountains of debris, and trees ripped to their roots.
I know that, some of my friends were hurt and I couldn't get a hold of them. I was scared.
Iowa State Patrol has confirmed at least a dozen people were injured, and there were multiple deaths in the storm.
The Greenfield community has shown incredible unity during this challenging time. The Greenfield community has a long road ahead of them.
The damage here comes less than a month after the state was hit hard by tornadoes. In Adams County yesterday, storm chasers drove through flying debris from another twister. They then looked for survivors at this now leveled home.
There's somebody here? Are you in shelter?
That same tornado snapped wind turbines and set them on fire. Before the extreme weather reached Iowa, neighboring Nebraska was slammed with torrential downpours, hail, and powerful winds. Widespread flooding swamped the Omaha area after up to 6 inches of rain fell, stranding cars and pushing them off the road. Tracy Dunn said there was so much flooding in her apartment that at one point she had to stand on top of her bed.
I don't have nothing. I lost everything. I got everything.
Back in Greenfield, the city has already begun cleaning up.
We will rebuild this community together. One thing about Greenfield is we're small, but we're mighty.
The cleanup here is just getting started. Iowa's governor is expected to survey the damage here today. And across the country, we still have more severe weather in the forecast. Later today, hail and potentially damaging winds are expected to hit parts of Texas and Arkansas. Roxanne Saberi, CBS News, Greenfield, Iowa.
Things differently, that we can create a community that's a safer community, not only for the deputies, but for the detainees.
And those are words from the Pulaski County Sheriff, Sheriff Eric Higgins, who's been at the center of backlash ever since the release of the Netflix series Unlocked, a Jail Experiment. The show first hit screens about a month ago, but Sheriff Higgins hasn't caught a break since. Just last night, he spoke at a press conference defending the series, saying it was a way to spotlight his re-entry program, and says it was the production company who wanted to pay each inmate $1,000.
There was no obligation for them to do that. That's something that they wanted to put in the agreement that they wanted to do.
Well, that changed when the county judge sent back a $60,000 check from the production company. The sheriff addressed claims of sexual assault, saying those incidents happened before filming took place. And today we could learn more details about the ATF raid that killed Little Rock Airport Director Brian Malinowski. As we speak, the Malinowski family lawyer, Bud Cummins, is testifying before a congressional subcommittee. He hopes the ATF will eventually talk about the shootout that happened as agents tried to serve a search warrant. Up to this point, the ATF has only provided limited details.
The only information that has come out of ATF is when they contacted us to tell us that they didn't wear their mandatory body cameras on that day. I want to tell the facts that I know, and I want to point out those things we don't know.
The ATF director will testify tomorrow. As for charging the agents involved, the decision will come from Pulaski County prosecuting attorney Will Jones, who is conducting a review of the case. A troublesome apartment complex has been causing frustrations in Jacksonville for months and recently forced some residents to live without warm water. We're talking about Wingate Apartments. We told you about the gruesome living conditions before, but now tenants say for the past few weeks, they haven't had hot water. That adds to the long list of problems at the complex, and those experiencing it firsthand say they've just about reached their breaking point.
You can't make it right. You can't, there's no right in it. And so as a resident, yeah, I'm appalled. They got to do their part.
Russell says he has no choice but to find somewhere to shower. We reached out to the local management for questions, but they declined to go on camera. Efforts to get enough support to challenge current education laws in Arkansas is being met with progress. Canvassing groups are tasked with getting 90,000 signatures for the Arkansas Educational Rights Amendment of 2024, and they say they've already gotten half of what they need. If they succeed in getting enough support by July, the future of private and public schools could be up for questioning.
The amendment says that any private or charter school that gets our public tax dollars should at the very least meet the same standards as a public school.
The deadline for getting signatures land on July 5th and would need support from at least 50 counties to qualify for the ballot. The Pulaski County Special School District's plans for a new health center aims to make it easier for kids to be seen by experts. The new center will go up right behind Mills Middle School, and the administrators say it will benefit the entire district. Officials are describing it as an urgent care on campus and will even offer mental health services, all things that could help with overall classroom improvement.
It helps with attendance, and we're hoping by having this available to everybody, convenient to everyone, that it will keep our staff on the job, it will keep our students on the job.
Some parents say they look forward to seeing what impacts this will have on the community. An announcement from President Biden is signaling a major milestone for the PACT Act, which expands health care to veterans exposed to toxic substances. Biden signed that bipartisan bill into law 2 years ago and has since gotten over 1.6 million claims filed, with the VA already approving 1 million of those claims. Arkansas Senator John Bozeman initially co-sponsored the law as it allows benefits for service members who have been exposed to harmful chemicals. And it's even impacting people here in Arkansas. According to the VA, more than 11,000 PACT Act related claims have been filed in the state, totaling out to nearly $68 million being issued to over 5,500 veterans.
I determined that come hell or high water, we're going to protect the heroes and protect our nation.
The approval rating for benefits sits at about 75%. If you file, it could take up to 166 days for the request to process. Well, you never know when your skills may be put to the test. The story of how one woman let her knowledge speak for itself right after this.
And we're in the thick of what's going to be an active and unsettled holiday weekend for Central Arkansas. Coming up after this break, I'll talk you through the rest of today and what those impacts are looking like in that 7-day outlook.